Russian forces advance in Kursk. Enter Sumy province of Ukraine.
General Secretary To Lam attends the 30th anniversary celebration of Vietnam's membership in ASEAN.
Reverse migration. The toll of America's tightened immigration policies.
You're watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Zhang, your host. On March the 9th, the Moscow Times reported that Russia has taken territory in Ukraine's Sumy province for the first time since 2022. This happened during a cross-border attack while Kiev was struggling to hold on to gains in the nearby Kursk province.
The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that its forces captured the small village of Nevenk in Sumy, which is close to the Kursk border. Russia had briefly controlled part of Sumy at the beginning of its military operation in Ukraine in 2022 but withdrew and has not regained control since then. President Vladimir Putin claimed in mid-February that Russian forces had entered Sumy, while Kyiv called this a lie, even though they acknowledged some attacks on Sumy. Taking Nevenk brings Russia closer to a key supply route for Ukraine. Russian military bloggers warn that if Moscow continues its attacks, Ukrainian forces in Sumy could soon be in a difficult position, similar to the situation in Kursk.
Former Governor of the Bank of Canada, Mark Carney, has warned the leadership race for the ruling Liberal Party, succeeding Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who announced his resignation after more than 9 years in office.
In the Liberal Party election, which included nearly 152,000 members, Carney, 59, received 86% of the votes. Defeating former Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, Carney's victory marks the first time a candidate without a significant political background has become Prime Minister of Canada. He will take office amid significant challenges, including a tense trade war with the US after the vote. Carney stated that with his experience as the head of two major central banks in Canada and the UK, he believes he is the best person to lead the country, especially in dealing with US President Donald Trump in the trade dispute.
During the state visit to the Republic of Indonesia, General Secretary To Lam and his wife, along with a high-ranking Vietnamese delegation, attended the 30th anniversary celebration of Vietnam's membership in ASEAN on the morning of March the 10th. He also delivered an important policy speech.
In his speech, General Secretary To Lam highlighted ASEAN's achievements over the past 60 years and pointed out new challenges and opportunities arising from the reshaping of the global landscape towards a multipolar, multi-center world. He noted the surge of science and technology and the increase in non-traditional security issues, such as climate change and cybersecurity. Discussing Vietnam's foreign policy in this new era, General Secretary To Lam affirmed that Vietnam is ready to make a more active and positive contribution to global politics, the world economy, and human civilization. Participants expressed confidence that with strong commitment and the wise leadership of General Secretary To Lam, Vietnam will continue to prosper and be a key driving force for ASEAN in this new phase of development.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh recently issued Directive No. 22 to ministers and chairpersons of provincial and city people's committees regarding key tasks and solutions for reducing administrative procedures, improving the business environment, and promoting socio-economic development. In the directive, the Prime Minister requires ministries, agencies, and local authorities to thoroughly review and simplify administrative procedures related to investment, production, business activities, and the lives of citizens. The goals include reducing the processing time for administrative procedures by at least 30%, cutting business compliance costs by at least 30%, eliminating 30% of unnecessary business conditions, implementing business-related procedures electronically to ensure smooth and efficient processes.
Vietnam Airlines has announced a direct flight from Ho Chi Minh City to Denpasar, Bali, during the state visit of General Secretary to Lam to Indonesia from March 9 to 11. Starting June 1st, Vietnam Airlines will operate this route with 4 round-trip flights per week on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. From July, the frequency is expected to increase to 7 round-trip flights per week. The flights will be operated using Airbus A321 aircraft. This new route is anticipated to enhance cooperation between the two countries, especially in tourism.
The 220 kV Tuong Duong, Du Luong power line is being constructed in the districts of Tuong Duong, Con Quang, An Son, Tan Chuang, and Du Luong in Nghệ An province. The project spans over 80 kilometers and consists of 2 circuits, starting from the 220 kV Tuong Duong substation and ending at the 220 kV Du Luong substation. As of now, local authorities in Nghệ An have completed the inventory of all 191 foundation locations, handed over 158 foundation spots, and transferred 38 sections of the power line corridor. The project is currently on track with its timeline. This project is crucial for ensuring electricity supply in Nghệ An province and facilitating electricity imports from Laos to Vietnam.
Trump's strict immigration policy has shattered the dreams of many seeking a better life in the U.S., sparking a wave of reverse migration back to their homelands.
Montia was one of several dozen people from his country waiting for relatives to send them $260 for the boat trip to Colombia from Panama's Caribbean coast. They had already made the arduous journey back from Mexico on foot and by bus after U.S. President Donald Trump toughened immigration policy and canceled appointments for asylum seekers. Trump's crackdown has triggered a new migration wave from north to south that has left authorities in the region struggling to cope.
We're not animals staying at a government reception center meant being shut in, keeping quiet, staying in bed and doing as you're told.
Many Venezuelan migrants have traveled through Colombia and crossed the Darien Gap, known as the Death Jungle, to reach Panama and head north to Mexico. They have waited at the Mexico border for months in search of opportunities to enter the U.S., but all plans collapsed when Donald Trump took office as president. Realizing that all avenues for asylum in the U.S. had closed, they decided to return. However, bringing them back is not easy. Most Venezuelan migrants do not have valid passports, and Panama also does not have diplomatic relations with the government of President Nicolas Maduro, making it impractical to organize repatriation flights.
I don't know what to do. Going back home is not an option now. It's very hard for us to cope with.
The governments of Central American countries say they are helping migrants return home, but the process is very complex. Panama and Costa Rica are temporarily holding migrants in shelters in remote border areas.
Is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.